Welcome to the Finding the Magic podcast, where books come alive. I'm Tricia Copeland, a fiction author and host of this show. If you love books, finding great reads, and hearing about the story behind the story directly from the authors, this is the place for you. Whether you like fantasy, science fiction, dystopian, or romance titles, I think you'll find something to love in my playlist. Listen in to discover something magical about a book or two today.
Hi, Josie.
Hi, how are you, Tricia?
I'm great. How are you?
Hanging in there, trying to stay warm.
Oh, good. Welcome to the Finding the Magic Book podcast. Today we have Jocie McKade. She is the author of cozy mystery and romances. I can't wait to dive in. They look so much fun. What is your latest book?
My latest book is Let Sleeping Dogs Lie, which is a Hope and Pip mystery. And it's set in Cincinnati, which is fairly close to where I live. I'm a worthless nut, Buckeye. Um,
No, don't say that. I know a lot of great Buckeye fans.
well, I love Ohio, don't get me wrong, but yeah, there really is a Buckeye nut and they're poisonous, so I always call us the worthless nuts.
I did not realize they were poisonous, so that's
Yeah, well,
something I
I
learned today.
think you can eat a little bit of them, but they are toxic. But I didn't ever want to try that.
Well, I guess that makes sense to name a team after that if the team is toxic to other teams then.
Yeah,
So
maybe that was the reason. Yeah, I'm
I'm
not,
I'm getting all the connections now. It's like a light bulb went on.
I don't know, because it just did for me too. I'm like, huh.
Well, and that's something you could put in your mystery book, right? Somebody
There
killed
you
somebody
go.
with a buckeye.
Oh, wow, might be. But Let Sleeping Dogs Lie is about Hope Remy. Her name is Hope, of course, and Pip is a robotic dog. The premise of the book started, I have a very good friend, I was a librarian for a number of years, and one of our patrons came in, and she's a puppy raiser for Guiding Eyes, raises them to a certain point, and then they go on to further their training. And what I didn't realize was what a basically short life they have as a guide dog, especially if they're human, is based in a major city. It's very stressful on the dog. And basically, after about 7 years, they're kind of worn out, 7 to 8 years. And by 10, them as well as military dogs are forced to retire. And I thought, after all that training and all that emotional love that you have between a human and their dog, what would it be if we could take a robotic dog and make it adaptable to different needs? And there's no taking it out at 3 a.m., no food bill, no allergies, nothing like that, and just reprogram them slightly for whichever human they are a companion to. And so it kind of came out of that. And then Hope's dad was a detective in Cincinnati who was killed on the job. So there's a little backstory of her trying to figure out who murdered her father. And after his murder, she became very reclusive and really just pushed everyone and everything out of her life. So Pip brings that back to her, makes her kind of get out of her shell and start pursuing her life again.
Interesting. So is the dog programmed? So is she sight disabled or does
No,
she
she's
need
not
so it's just like
disabled.
in a oh,
Yeah.
okay.
She is not, other than, maybe emotionally a little PTSD, so to speak, from her
Yeah.
father's murder because she witnessed it.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
Unfortunately, she didn't know who the killer was. Um, and as it goes along, she rescued Pip from some bullies at a tech show, is what happened, because she's a
Oh,
software writer. And Pip follows her home along with an AI that comes in through her computer. And there's a
interesting.
backstory that filters in with the AI as well, because it's a human consciousness that has been uploaded into a network. And as the story evolves, we learn who the human consciousness is.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I've read a book with like a male interest, so a romantic interest being AI partner, and that he was programmed to be like perfectly her boyfriend, right? So has the dog been sort of AI programmed to match her, or does the dog become more like a match to her?
No, not really. She
Okay.
has an on again, off again boyfriend. They
Okay.
were in college, and then she has to call him at this point to have him help her with part of her investigation. So it kind of starts to flare up a little bit again. And then, like in life and real relationships, it kind of bottoms out a little bit. Um, but Pip, the dog, he was created with a lot of special algorithms. He is robotic, but as he grows, he does get some empathy, but he can sniff bombs, and each book more of his talents that she didn't know he had come out. So he tends to be protective, and he's kind of like a German Shepherd and a Belgian Malinois and a Border Collie without fur. It's like,
Border collies can be pretty dangerous. So but this book is in a series. Is it, which one?
it,
Is it the first in a series?
yeah, it's the first in a series, and it
Okay.
is going to be a series. The second one should be out. I'm almost done with this one. And of course, the editing and beta readers and all of that comes into play. So I'm going to give myself a little room here and go about the Ides of March. Sometime in the middle of March, it should be available.
Oh, fun. So, like Sleeping Dogs Lie, is it centered around trying to figure out who her father is, or is it these other people that she met at the tech show?
Well, it's kind of, how should I say this? One of my very favorite series was White Collar. And as he's helping the FBI and solving cases through each series, at the end of the back of him, he's trying to figure out the sub story. And that's kind of how this is. She wants to be a detective, but having her father murdered kind of sets her back a step. She's quite good at it. She learned a lot from him, but having witnessed that, she pulls back. So this brings her back into being, kind of a sleuth, and but with the help of the robotic dog and the AI, she gets a lot better at it.
Neat. That's a really cool twist on cyber and AI and technology.
Yeah, I think sometimes, we become quite dependent on technology, electronics, and algorithms. And to me, I think there's so many very great things like a robotic dog that could do it, but there's also that dark side of it that I think we need to be aware of too.
Right. And you said you were a librarian. Is that how you got into writing, or did you just always love writing?
I always loved writing. I mean, my mother used to read to me constantly, so it's kind of in the blood. My grandfather was a big reader. They both loved the old westerns like Max Brand and Hillerman and Zane Grey, so I have a lot of his books. Um, and I think to get out of trouble, I could make up a really good story. So it kind of came from that. But no, I was writing and had sold several articles and that type of thing long before I became a librarian.
Oh, interesting. That's really neat. And I see that you have several other series. So you've been writing for a while.
I have been writing a very long time, and even before I published any novels, I probably had over 1,500 articles with blogs, national magazines, trade magazines, that type of thing.
Oh,
Plus, I wrote a
interesting.
lot for. I'm in a town that has a lot of small businesses, so a lot of marketing and copywriting, that type of thing. For some reason I'm really quite good at taking technical stuff and bringing it down to simplistic terms. So I've done a lot of that. Um, my first article actually was about an apron, so which was so last century. But I keep on writing, and I was with a traditional publisher, and so I got my rights back, and then just decided to go indie because that way it's a lot more work and a lot more pressure in some areas, but I have control.
Right. Yeah. You can do your stories your way and the covers and the all that fun stuff.
Yes. The other series I have is a mystery, and it's called Mason Dixon. And basically, it starts out two twin sisters. They get lose a parent. Each one is raised by a single parent, one by their father, one by their mother. One is raised in Boston and the other is raised in Talladega. So they're very polar opposites. And I also kind of, make those polar opposites a little more pronounced through the series because it's fun. And again, it's one of those where they meet in a lawyer's office and someone tries to kill them when they meet. So,
Oh
so
my goodness.
it kind of starts them on a mission to find out about their parents and who's trying to kill them and so forth. And they end up in a beach town in Virginia Beach, and a dead body washes up on one of the sisters. So they decide they need to solve the murder. And at the same time, if they get a detective's license, it will get them entry into places where they can do more sleuthing about their parents. But each book stands alone and solves a murder, but there's always the backstory about their parents in it.
Okay, okay. So, and I know this is like a detail, but I don't read mysteries and usually don't read mysteries. But so you get a detective license? I didn't realize you got licensed or certified as a detective.
Yeah, different states have different rules,
Oh,
but if you are a private investigator, which, a lot of times entails watching people for divorce proceedings, um, you do have to be licensed by the state, and not all of them. You'd have to check into your individual state, but and they're, some of them work with the police, some of them police hate them, but if you carry a firearm and stuff, there are different applications to that, like a concealed carry and so forth. Yeah, I did a lot of research on that. I could probably be a PI right now.
okay. Well, yeah. So why did you decide to write mystery? What intrigues you about mystery?
I love mysteries, and I think most of us, whether it's a true mystery or true crime or even a thriller, we kind of like to beat the characters to the punch in solving it. Um, maybe it goes to Murder, She Wrote. I think we all, and she set the bar pretty high, but I think we all try to solve that mystery. But when I wrote my romance series, it's a romantic comedy set in Wyoming. It's the Three Bears, and every time I wrote it, there ended up being some mystery or bad guy or something like that in it. So it just sort of evolved into a mystery series.
Interesting. Yeah, I think writing mystery is the hardest thing to write because you do have to sprinkle those clues in. So maybe the reader might figure it out and they would be super excited when they did, or they might be totally thrown off, right? And be like, whoa, I never saw that coming. So it's such it's, do you have a lot of planning involved? Do you make like
I
really
should
detailed outlines or?
No, I should do more. I tend to sit down, the story comes, and then sometimes I'm surprised by who done it. Um, as I write it, I will go back through and put the clues and stuff in. I mean, I want my readers to know and follow a track and maybe be uncertain, but I don't want them to go, well, where did the butler come from? He wasn't there on
Yeah,
the graph in chapter one. So, it does need to be somebody that is consistent through the story. And
right.
many times that involves going back after it's written and putting in those little red herrings and clues to help the reader along and help them enjoy the mystery.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just watched the movie Knives Out. Have you seen that movie series? So it's a series of three movies now, and it's the same characters, but I think they solve different mysteries. But I was super proud of myself because I figured out how they killed the person in the first one. So,
Oh, good. I haven't seen that one, and I do love mystery series. I like detective shows, and I'm the girl that loves thrillers. I mean, I read the Jack Cars and the Brad Thors and all of those. I think I have this inner bad guy, and no, I'm not good enough to be a bad guy because I would be the person that makes you a hero, going, "Go ahead, go get him."
that's interesting. Have you ever you said sometimes you're surprised by what ends up in the story. Have you ever had characters that have flipped or become the good guys or the bad guys when you didn't really intend for them to?
Yes, I have done that. And Mason Dixon, the one guy started out, his name is Fender, and he kind of approaches the girls when they get there. And I thought, oh, this would be a great bad guy. And he ended up being one of the sisters' love interests.
Oh,
He turned out to be a good guy, like an ex-army guy, and actually helped them.
okay. So, are all these considered cozy mysteries or are they more thriller-ish?
They, well, I was told by a publisher once that they were thrillers, not mysteries, because mysteries could only have one dead body, and I had several.
Oh,
So,
okay.
they're not, unlike a thriller, there's not a lot of, super guys going around with guns taking out bad guys. and the murders are pretty bloodless. I mean, I don't go into a lot of detail. I do have some fun coroners who help, figure out why that person died. But I would still say cozy mystery because in the end, I mean, it's pretty sweet. The girls get into trouble and they get themselves out of it. But I would say they're cozy. I wouldn't go to the thriller on these. There's just not enough shoot 'em ups in them.
Well, that sounds fun. Yeah, it's interesting to me, like what I pick sometimes. Like if it's like paranormal mystery, I'll watch it. But I did, yeah, I did like the Knives Out, so maybe I'll have to dabble more into the mystery world.
That I have not seen that one.
Look it up.
Okay.
So I think you also, and you said you also have the Three Bears romance series. Which of these series came first, or do you write them sort of at the same time?
No, actually, the Three Bears have. It's older as my very first series. And I love the state of Wyoming. I go there as often as I can. That's kind of where my heart resides. But I often thought, you see the cowboys out there and they're doing cowboy things. And I thought, what if some goth rock chick dropped into their world? And so that started the first one. And all three of them, they're actually brothers. And every one of them has some completely opposite woman drop into their life. And the comedy, of course, comes from that and learning each other. But it's also one of those where most humans, no matter where you're from or what race or what culture, we all are striving for similar things. We want to be happy. We want to find that soulmate. We want our kids to be happy and successful. And that's come from this, even though there's these drastic differences, pretty much, we're Oreo cream inside.
I like that premise because you're right. I mean, I think everybody strives to, not everybody, most people, I'll say, I won't
Yes,
lump everybody, strives to have that like other half of
Yeah.
their whole, right? To
Yes.
feel that satisfaction and I get whatever love, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Well, that
Those
perfect.
do sound like a lot of fun. Yeah,
They
I
are
love what. Yeah, I love Wyoming too. We're in Colorado and we go up there as much as we can. So
close.
yes,
Yeah.
that we're very lucky in that.
Yeah.
So
I love Colorado too, but we've been there quite often as well. So
well, and I would think that Wyoming would give you that good backdrop because it is such a stark environment in my experience that there's nothing else, at least where I've been. There's nothing else like it. So
it's quite unique. And I know I've had some friends go, well, I went there and nobody talks because my family is all from the South. So one thing we do is we can talk. So you go there, and I have found that typically people that are there, especially the male part of the population, you say something to them that basically warrants a yes or no answer, and that's what you get, a yes or no answer, and you don't get anything further. But I've also found that once you find a commonality, like I have a Border Collie, and we were in a restaurant once, and the gentleman pulled up in a pickup truck with a horse trailer pulled behind it, and he had an Australian Shepherd in the bed of the truck. And so he walks in as we're paying to leave, and I was like, "Oh, is that your Aussie?" And he goes, "Yeah." Okay, that was the total answer. And I went, my sister raises Aussies, which she does. She's raised them for 30 years. And I said, well, is that a Merrill? And, this kind of stuff. And the next thing I know, this guy is taking me out to his truck. He is showing me this dog. He's talking about the dogs. He's talking about the cows. He's talking about his Ford F-350. And my husband's like, have you ever met a stranger? And I'm like, it's a dog. Everybody wants to talk about their dog. So I think sometimes people think they're standoffish in some respects because they don't want to waste time talking. They have other stuff to do. But once you break down that little bit of a barrier, it's quite fascinating who you meet.
fun. Yeah, I mean, there's not many people there, so I think a lot of times the people that are there are people that don't mind many, not many people.
No, and I've been to so many parts of it that are so stunningly beautiful that it about brought me to tears. And that's kind of what I play up in the books because it's set in the Wind River area. And if you've ever driven through or been through the Wind River area, it's just breathtaking. And it's the area, if you're coming from the south, it's the area that's precedes the Grand Tetons. So after you go through this amazing valley and the greens and the reds and the streams, and then right in front of you is the Grand Tetons, and it's pretty breathtaking.
Yes, I have been there twice, and I would agree with that. It's very breathtaking.
So I thought, and one time many, many years ago when I was quite young, I had an author that I met and admired. And I said, "Why did you set your books in certain place?" And she said, "Because if you want to have a book signing, you make it where you want to sign your books." And so, hello, Wyoming.
I can make this a business trip.
So
That
that was
sounds like
kind
yeah,
of just a fun backstory with it.
fun. Well, what is next? So what is the series name for Let Sleeping Dogs Lie? What is next in that series?
It is the Hope and Pip Cyber Cozy Mysteries, Cozy Cyber,
Okay.
one way or the other. Let me see. It is the Hope and Pip Cozy Cyber Mysteries. And it will be the next book that's up. And then there will be another Mason Dixon toward the end of the year. And I do have a couple of outlines for some more, but given I also work a job and live on a little farm, we'll see how far that gets.
Fun. Well, I love asking authors these questions. If you could say one thing about, you can one book or like all your books, what do you hope that a reader would take away from them?
I would say escapism. I don't really write to make a point. There are people, authors who are quite good at that, or make a statement or be political. I just want you to pick up that book when you get home from an 8-hour day, sit down, laugh for a few minutes, and you're completely escapism. That's it. I want you to escape and be happy for an hour or two.
Fun. And do you think like, so you said you wrote before you became a librarian.
Yes.
Did you have a background or a degree in writing?
No, actually, I don't. Mostly, I thought I was going to be an architect. So a couple of my characters do have an architecture background, but no, mine was nowhere near writing. And I'm sure Oxford English teachers would have a little meltdown when they read some of my books before they were edited.
We all kind of have that, though. We can't do everything.
I know, I'm like, ah, that might be a little much.
So did you study like when you realized you wanted to do romance or and then kind of got into the mystery, did you study like the plot formulas for those books or how
Read a
did
few
you?
books, yeah, on writing and plotting and how to format, but mostly I read other authors because who better to teach you than great authors you admire? And there's so many in many different genres that I admire. And I'm a voracious reader. I think most writers at some point in some level are voracious readers. And those writers helped me so much. If I thought they did it wrong, then they taught me not to do it wrong. Or if I thought they did it right. And, there's those times you open a book and you read it and you go, man, I wish I'd written that sentence because, it's so amazing sometimes what these creative minds come up with. And it's so admirable. And you want to be like that. You strive for it. Do you meet it? But you want to make you strive.
Well, given your success in not only not, yeah, I mean, fiction novels as well as nonfiction, it seems like you have a gift for writing. I think you're pretty much up there with a lot of these good authors.
Oh, well, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. But I don't know that I'm up there so much. But I do hope at some level it gives readers an escape for a while.
That's amazing. So tell everyone where we can find you and your books.
All of my books are on Amazon. Most of them are on Kindle Unlimited, so you can get them for free. And I think pretty much every book I have is around $4 and under for the ebooks. There are prints available, and there's, of course, are a little bit higher. Online, I'm on just jociemckade.com on my webpage, and there's links to all of my books from my webpage.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here. And we would love to have you back when you release your next I'm Pip. Nancy, what is the girl's name? Now I'm losing it.
Her name is Hope.
Hope and Pip. Hope and Pip. That's a good name.
Probably backwards. I can't see, but Hope and Pip.
No, it's a fun. I think it reversed it. That's a fun cover though too.
It's
looking at
very
that one.
fun. But Pip, I also had stickers and stuff made of Pip because he's just
Ah.
cute. And as my daughter suggests, you should totally make like a Christmas ornament. And then I'm thinking, I'm not Mattel, but that would be fun.
Yeah, get your 3D printer out.
There you go. Sure. Let's pull that right out of the cabin.
Oh, have your daughter get the 3D printer out.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for the invite. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Finding the Magic podcast. I'm your host, author and podcaster Tricia Copeland, and I love getting behind the scenes. If you like the podcast, make sure to subscribe and stop in each week to discover new authors and books. Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep finding the magic.